All right. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Jason Small with the Montana AFL-CIO, and we're doing another edition of the Blue Collar News. So today we have the Whitefish Mountain Resort Professional Ski Patrol Union. So they were unionized in March of 2024, and they're currently negotiating for their first contract. How you doing, Matthew?
I'm doing great. How you doing, my man?
Oh, not bad at all. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your union, what you have going on up there?
Yeah, for sure. So again, my name is Matthew Bagwill. I am the secretary of our ski patrol union, Whitefish Mountain Resort Professional Ski Patrol Union. Fun little mouthful on it. We represent 26 patrollers up here at Whitefish Mountain Resort. Our department in total is 34 people. So the only people we don't represent are currently our dispatchers, which we have 2 of, and then our supervisors and managers. And we unionized back in March of 24, and we are still actively working through our bargaining with the mountain to get our first contract.
Right on. Hopefully that'll come on soon.
Yeah.
So, what's your day-to-day life as a ski patroller up there? What do you guys do? What's your job?
For sure. It can be kind of a thing that you either know exactly what ski patrol does, or you just see them as the people pulling passes all the time. So I'll walk you through a typical day to day, and because we all want that day, we're going to walk through like a typical powder day, right? So overnight, a whole bunch of new snow comes. We show up first thing in the morning, bright and early, just about before everybody else is on the mountain. We get up to the summit, and we start doing avalanche mitigation. We go through all the terrain that if it was in the backcountry could possibly have an avalanche. We throw bombs, we do ski cuts, and we mitigate all of our terrain before it's open to the public so that an avalanche happens when we want it to and not with somebody on the slope. So we'll go through all of our avalanche mitigations, start opening up our terrain piece by piece when we can. And then after that, we switch into morning duties because even on days that there aren't avalanche routes needing to go out and to mitigate that concern, there's still work to be done every single morning. So every single piece of bamboo, rope, sign, basically anything out on the mountain that you see that's not a chairlift, ski patrol is responsible for and is probably put out. So maintaining all those lines and signs to make sure people know the flow and safe areas to be on the mountain. And that takes us through our morning. And then the bulk of our day, we're either skiing around doing more project work, getting out new ropes or marking off new hazards that appear through the day. And that entire time, and well, even during the morning duties, the moment guests are on the hill, we are ready to respond to any accidents or medical emergencies that happen. So that is the bulk of our day. Everything stops. If a medical emergency or an accident is happening, that is always priority 1. So throughout the day, we'll have people diverting off to help injured people. And then at the end of the day, we have to be the last ones down to make sure no one's stuck up there overnight. So we do what's called sweeps, where we all take a very specific route to clear out the entire mountain and make sure everybody is down below us, so no one gets caught up in the cold, whether they're hurt or anything like that. And then we get down to the locker room, clock out, and go enjoy a beer.
Well, excellent. That one part of that really caught my ear. So you guys throw explosives. What are some of you explosive technicians, or how does that all work out?
Yeah, so we are all we are licensed to handle and use explosives under Whitefish Mountain Resorts or Winter Sports Incorporated. So we get a background check and get approved through the ATF. So all of us patrollers are then able to use those explosives. And then there's obviously also an initial training of how to use explosives. They don't just hand you a bomb. And the main reason we use explosives is like, if we're talking about avalanche terrain, and it can be dangerous, right? We don't necessarily want to put ourselves in that danger to cause the avalanche in certain weather patterns. Ski cutting just puts us in more danger than is worth. So we can throw an explosive out there to cause the avalanche while keeping ourselves safe.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So how many people on the crew are EMTs? I'm sure everybody's had some kind of medical training. I mean,
yeah.
a requirement there, or how's that work?
So our patrol, the majority of our patrol are what's called outdoor emergency care technicians. It is a kind of like an advanced first aid developed and hosted by the National Ski Patrol Association, NSP. And then within that, we have, between, I think it's like 7 to 10 or so of us are EMTs. We have one paramedic on staff as well. So kind of a good mix, but every single person has some medical training for sure.
Yeah,
And that OEC is also pretty extensive. And it's also, the nice thing about OEC is it's very pertinent and directed at the type of injuries and how to manage patients on snow.
Right. No, that's very interesting. I mean, you guys have to do a pretty fair amount of continued or extended education just to be part of the team there, and that's great. I mean, you need folks trained up to do the right thing. So that's good for you. What drove you guys to wanting to unionize? What kicked that all off?
Yeah, so I mean, like so many places, a lot of there's for a number of years there's been some little side chatter of like, man, we should unionize. Oh man, this should happen. And last year it turned from just that like little side chatter to like, no wait, this could actually greatly benefit us. We've been trying to get specific changes in both our working conditions and our wages and all these standard reasons people unionize for years by going through our chain, through management, and weren't seeing any results. And because of that, we were losing experienced patrollers year after year. And then seeing the success of other ski patrol unions, such as Park City and the other unionized patrols. Also, forgot to mention, we are a member. Our chapter is the Whitefish Mountain Ski Patrol Union, but we are affiliated under the CWA Local 7781 United Mountain Workers. So we're on the same local as all the ski patrol unions that you've heard about. There's lift mechanics that are unionized through that. Yeah, it turned from like that'd be cool to oh wait, no, we can actually make change that helps us retain people, which for a job like ski patrol, you can learn the things, but like bringing it back to avalanche route, every single piece of terrain has micro terrain within it, and it takes time to learn all of that to keep yourself, the skiing public, and your route partner safe. So, and then emergency medical skills, all of these skills that we have and learn on the job only get better with time, and we need the experience. So the losing of our experienced patrollers year after year was also a pretty big driving force for that.
Right on. I mean, unionizing is not only about making making a better living, but oftentimes we found with other businesses in the state, it causes attrition to slow down too. So you're not losing the people all the time, which you get a better workforce, more educated, more institutional knowledge. So there's always huge benefit to it. What are you guys asking for in negotiations? What's your primary drivers?
There's a number of things we're working towards in our negotiation of this contract. Obviously, wages is one of them, and I can circle back to that in a minute. But some other things is before this union, a lot of the training came out of our own pockets, specifically avalanche training and education, which is obviously very beneficial to the mountain. We were looking to kind of maintain some job security as well, because in the current system, we have to reapply for our job absolutely every single year. And that makes it hard to plan, even if you want to come back and are planning on coming back. If you have to get rehired, then that always adds that level of uncertainty. Our gear stipend, we use our gear very aggressively. We're all skiing and using our gear. That mostly comes out of our pocket for 60 to 90 days, a season or so. So we're destroying all of our gear that's coming out of our own pocket. and getting compensated for the things we need to do our job.
So how are your negotiations? How are they sitting? Are you getting anywhere yet, or do you have
Yeah.
like a brick wall in front of you? What's happening?
So obviously the first contract always kind of takes the longest to negotiate. You kind of have to set the foundations for everything. And we have been able to get quite a few articles to a tentative agreement that we're all on. But right now we're really down to the meat and potatoes, for instance, wages. It brick wall might be a little bit harsh of a term, but it does feel like we're not making the same progress that we were hoping for. But we're hopeful that over the coming months, now that we're out of the ski season, we can sit down with the mountain and really start making some meaningful changes. And just for like, I understand a large portion of the audience that's going to be watching this is probably very pro-union or in unions themselves, but there is that sentiment that, oh, we're just trying to get more money and like get too much money. And we're not out here trying to become the uber wealthy of Whitefish, which has a pretty high cost of living. We're not trying to buy the $1 million homes. We're trying to afford our rent. In the 2019 to 2023 census, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, the median rent price in Whitefish was $1,313. I am a third-year patroller. I have my EMT. I'm an Avalanche 2. I lead emergency medical trainings fairly consistently. So we're not shooting for the moon. We're just trying to like be able to afford to live in this area.
I know you guys had a rally here a while back, and how did the community engage? Are you guys getting a lot of support, or do you need more? How's it working out for you?
Honestly, always could use more support, right? We love when people see what we're doing and can stand behind it. But that has been one of the greatest things we have seen since unionizing and launching our Instagram page, Whitefish Ski Patrol on Instagram, is this community support has been overwhelming. And so many people in our riding community and our local community see the value of what we provide up there and are rooting for us and want us to be better equipped. They want us to keep experience so we can provide a better service to them. And that rally that was on the aqueduct in Whitefish a little while back, honestly, just due to like the busyness of the end of the season, it was pretty short notice to put it together. And we still had amazing turnout of people showing up and being like, yes, this is what we want. We want our ski patrol to be sustainable. We want them to be up there and doing and continuing to do the great work that they're doing. So our community support, from the bottom of all of our hearts, we appreciate. Obviously, there's always the negative interactions. Unionizing is always a fun issue for some people, but the good has so overwhelmingly countered out any negative reactions we've had to it. So we love our community.
Well, that's excellent. I'm glad they're stepping up and helping you there. Kind of fortunately for being a state that seems to be getting further and further to the right as we've gone through campaign seasons, we've done polls and everything, door knocking, whatnot. Unionship here in Montana, sure, it has quite a bit of support still, both sides of the aisle. So hopefully we'll continue with that, and this will maintain its title as the last best place, right? I mean,
exactly. I mean, we all love this place for a reason, and like you said, it's unions and unionization are. I mean, I'm sure you all are seeing the same graphs that I'm seeing. That's got the highest approval for unions in our country in a very long time, and specifically in Montana. Between the mining industry back in the day and all these things, Montana is rich with union history, and it is a great middle ground between different political sides of the spectrum of like, you work hard, you should earn and be treated with the respect that you deserve. So it's lovely to see.
Right on. Well, tell you what, thank you for the conversation. Or anything else you feel like you need to add?
No, again, just want to say big old thanks to our riding community and our local community that don't even want to ride. We appreciate every single one of you. Yeah, we can't wait. We already can't wait for next ski season.
Right on. Once again, we appreciate Whitefish Mountain Professional Ski Patrol Union and Mr. Matthew Bagwill here today. Great conversation. We now know a few of the ins and outs, and we'll be here to support whatever you guys need, and hopefully we get this thing up and running. And that concludes the Blue Collar News for today. Thank you.